Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Michael Pettigrew.
Mr.
P-E.
Pet.
Oh, sorry.
You want to spell it for me?
Just for records, yes. Pettigrew.
Sir, you're here for a charge of aggravated assault on a firefighter or law enforcement officer. The gentleman standing next to you is a lawyer with the Public Defender's Office. Do you want a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office to help you? Do you plan to hire your own attorney or represent yourself?
I would like a public defender, ma'am, if that's okay.
Of course, you do qualify. I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I do find that there's probable cause for the statute 784.072C2 for aggravated assault on a firefighter or law enforcement personnel. Anything else from state or defense?
No. The bond you were saying it for $2,500?
Let me hear from the defense, please.
Judge,
Right now, bond is set at $2,500.
thank you, Judge. As far as criminal history, any failures to appear, does the court have any documentation related to that?
He does. You can approach. State, have you seen the face? I do want to point out, standard bond in this case is not $2,500. It's $5,000.
Thank you, Judge.
I have the face.
I do need counsel, I need my face sheet. Do you want to just take a look at it? It's an FBI. So he doesn't have anything in the state of Florida, but he does have an FBI military.
Okay, and so that wasn't related to any failures to appear?
No.
Judge, I'm not familiar with the codes on your face sheet. Did those result in convictions?
It is a conviction. It's rather than a history. It's marked as a conviction, counsel. I'll give you just a moment. Mr. Mosley.
What's your first last name? Jones. Jones. What's the first name? Oh, Asante? Asante Jones. A-S-A-N-T-E Jones.
Sorry, I'm not making your job easier.
No, so she. That's him? Oh. He's up next, Judge.
I don't see anything here. Okay, thank you. Oh, this is the one where I pulled. I know this case.
That's if I can get in contact with him. Okay.
Judge, not to waste more of the court's time, but my clients informed me that he should be able to come up with a bond amount in this case. So, no, nothing further.
Counsel, I am going, because based on the nature of the offense, the facts, and the court's concern about safety of the community, safety of uniformed personnel, and his history, and having heard nothing to demonstrate his ties to the community, I'm going to increase bond to $7,500.
Judge, I can elicit testimony if we want to, if the bond amount is going to be raised. I can get some testimony regarding ties to the community. I didn't want to waste the court's time.
No, it's fine. Go ahead and
We set
proceed.
it $2,500. All right. So
Standard bond in this case is $5,000.
Correct. Thank you, Judge.
And it should have been corrected at time of booking, but I'll consider any testimony. Go ahead.
So,
Please.
As the
Right.
judge said, she's a little worried based on going on a lower bond amount that you won't show up for court. So she wants to know, what are your ties to the community? What she means by ties is, do you live here? Do you have family here? Do you go to school here?
I do. I'm currently a student at Valencia East Campus, going for an associate's in science. And I live with my parents, and
How long have you lived there?
I lived there for about 15, 16 years.
Okay. And how long have you gone to school at Valencia?
It should be about around almost a year.
Okay. Do you go to school full time?
It's part-time.
Okay.
I try to pay my way through.
So you're currently employed part time?
Not employed part-time. Parents help out a little bit. I know it's pathetic. I'm too old to have my parents paying for school, but they're trying to help me out.
So your parents cover your cost of living as well?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Um,
And ties to the community. Did you?
as far as your parents' income, do both of them work?
Yes, my mom's a teacher, and my dad is a avionics technician.
Okay.
That's electronics for aircrafts.
Okay. And as far as your home, do your parents own the home?
No, they rent for now.
Okay. How long have they rented?
About, I think, 16 years.
Okay, so you've lived at the same rented property for 16 years, or?
They're at a new one now, going to a new one now, but yes.
Okay. Nothing further this time, Judge.
Sorry.
Okay, the state has an opportunity to ask you questions. State, please.
Let me ask you, what's your address here?
3201 South Cimarron Boulevard,
And you've lived in Central Florida for the past how many years?
about 15, 16 years, sir.
15, 16 years? Are you employed?
Not at this time, sir. I'm just a student at Valencia. Obviously not anymore after this, but,
Okay. And do you own any assets, any cars, any homes or anything?
I have a bank account with Navy Federal Credit Union, but there's nothing in it. And I only have $80 in cash to my name right now.
Okay. And you said that your mom and your dad lives here.
Yes.
Any other family members here?
I have my dad's side of the family lives here also. They don't live in Central Florida, but they live in Tampa.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Defense, what's your position?
Judge, as you've heard from my client, he's not currently employed, so if he is going to be able to come up with the money for a bond, it's likely going to have to come from his parents. I understand the court also mentioned earlier that given the facts of this case, they're particularly concerned, which is why the court was inclined, or one of the reasons why, rather, that the court was inclined to go above the standard amount in this case. I'd like to point out that the allegations and the facts of this case, nowhere in there was it said that anyone was physically harmed. As far as any physical action, the allegations also stated some alleged statements that showed that there might be some mental health issues as far as just trying to figure out what's going on. I don't think that by having the parents post a higher bond amount when they're obviously going to try to work forward with their son in this case is the correct action.
Judge, the state would ask that you, the 5,000 standard is okay with the state. Or the 7,500 is even more okay with the state. I'm going to leave it up to you.
Having heard both the arguments from the state defense and the testimony of the defendant, I'm sticking with the $7,500 bond. I'm also imposing the following conditions. Sir, that you're not to return to the Orlando International Airport. You're also not permitted to have any contact with any agents or anybody who works for Mears Transportation. You're not to go to their office, whether it's in the airport or outside of the office. You're not to have any contact with any witnesses. Sir, I'm also ordering that you not have any weapons. If you have any firearms or ammunition, they need to be surrendered within 12 hours of your release from Orange County Jail to a law enforcement officer while this case is pending. I already put the reasons on. His ties to the community are sparse, and his criminal history poses an ongoing threat to the safety of the community. Thank you, sir.
Judge, just to clarify, it was community ties and criminal history.
Lack of community ties. He's no longer a student at Valencia, by his own statement and his history.
Judge, I believe that
Counsel, I've ruled. Thank you.